What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? God, it's a beautiful day, and I just wanted to talk to you about expectations. The newsletter this week, Shaylin has written a blog about expectations, so I figured I would accompany that blog with a video quickly with a little bit of my 2 cents on expectations. First and foremost, we all have expectations. It's a good thing in a sense that we want to better ourselves, further ourselves, and move up in this world. And it can be a bad thing, whereas, and if you don't reach that very specific expectation, you feel less than you should, which is never a good thing. So, what is the key here? I think the key is to understand the management of expectations. Since we all have expectations, we need to understand that an expectation comes from the ego. We know the ego is a tricky little bastard that is trying to get you to believe certain things, so we have to rely on it when we really don't even need that ego. That ego has seen one certain situation in your life, or maybe multiple, based on who and what you want to be, what you're supposed to be. I'm sorry if the wind's bad, guys. Um, and we see that angle. Our ego sees that angle, and it decides that's who we're supposed to be. That's how everything's supposed to turn out for us. That's how it works for me because that's what I've experienced, and that's what's best for me through the ego's eye. And the reality is something's gonna turn out one way or another, regardless of what your ego thinks. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. It never changes anything. But the thing we don't want to happen is that it makes you feel down, it makes you unconnected, feel less. Because that is an association with that ego, with that predicting of the future. When you get it wrong, everything's not right. That's the misconception. But the reality is, and we see it on a regular basis, everything's gonna be all right. It always works out amazing. And sometimes when it doesn't feel like it does, later on down the road, you realize, oh wow, it worked out great actually, and go figure. So remember that, guys. There is, just make sure you don't find your self-worth in your expectations. Be smart about them. Be realistic about them. Um, and they shouldn't bother you. And if an expectation ever upsets you, that is a key moment. That is your spiritual side, your center, your soul, tapping you on the shoulder saying, step back a little bit, you're getting too close. Remember, guys, it's management of expectation. Be real about it. Just because your ego has only seen one side of how something is what you think is supposed to work out doesn't mean that it's the only way. Doesn't mean that there's a better way that's going to work much more effectively. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's not true. So remember that. I love you guys. Namaste.